Welcome to Hanging at the Hangar Bar. I'm Scott.
I'm Candace.
I'm Lariah.
And I'm Lacey. Grab a drink and come hang with us at the Hangar Bar.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Hanging at the Hangar Bar. We are glad you are here with us. Welcome to March Madness.
How is it March already?
I know, right? It's just crazy.
Ugh.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Okay.
So for March, we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to do a few bracket challenges to go along with all of March Madness. We think this is going to be a ton of fun. The first one that we're going to do is a bracket that I've put together all about rides at the different parks. So we're going to pit what I think are the top 8 seed rides or attractions in some cases from each park against one another to come to a final consensus at the end of one ride to rule them all based on the seating that I have. So this should be fun. Before we jump into that, though, check us out on our Instagram, Hanging at the Hangar Bar. You can also find us on Facebook at the same channel. If you would like to support our podcast, you can do that. We're still trying to figure out ways that we can reward our supporters, but you can go to our Anchor page through any of the links in our description of our podcast, and you can support us there however you want. Don't feel necessary. We hate asking for money, so we don't expect anything at all. We're just having fun with this. But if you want to support us in some way, you certainly can. We would be eternally grateful.
And most of all, thank you for listening.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so we have, again, top 8 seeds from each park. We're going to start with Magic Kingdom, and then we're going to do each bracket. Sort of, if you're familiar with basketball, the March Madness brackets, we're going to just do lines down until we get to the champion. So the first one I have, my number 1 seed in the Magic Kingdom is the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. My number 8 seed in the Magic Kingdom is Journey Under the Sea with a Little Mermaid. Our job here is to pick out which one of those rides moves on. Pirates or the Little Mermaid ride. And we can do this a couple of different ways. Let's just ask the group, and this will set the precedence for the rest. Are we just going to vote on which one we think? And if there's a clear majority, it just moves on. And if it's a tie, we have to discuss and move to the majority?
Yeah.
Okay. So do we just start with do we need to do a description of the rides at all? Or do you think folks listening are going to have enough?
I don't think these ones. Maybe
Okay.
certain rides.
Maybe.
We might need to buy
Okay.
these ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 1 seed, Pirates of the Caribbean. Number 8 seed, Under the Sea, Journey with the Little Mermaid. Which one are you voting for to move on to the second round?
This is hard, but I'm going to vote Pirates.
Same.
This one is easy. I'm going to vote Pirates.
Okay, Pirates it is. We have a clear majority there.
Was that your vote, too?
That was my
Okay.
vote as well. Pirates is just an iconic ride. There's no way that one can't move through. That's why I picked it as my number 1 seed. I actually didn't think I'd get the crunched up faces that I got between those 2 rides.
That's tough because
Yeah.
Journey of the Little Mermaid is so good.
Yeah.
It's got my favorite moment of any ride in Magic Kingdom in it. Moment. Not overall experience, but moment. So that's why I had to vote for Pirates. Plus, it's a Walt thing and
Yep.
classic and
Yep. Okay. So the number 2 seed is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. The 7 seed, so the next matchup we have, is Carousel of Progress. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or Carousel of Progress.
Carousel of Progress.
Yeah.
Carousel.
Let's talk about why. Seven Dwarfs is by far the more popular of the attractions.
It's also short.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a super long line to it. Yeah, technology has advanced a lot since Carousel of Progress went even through its last reimagination. But you don't mess with Walt.
There's nothing else at that park like Carousel of Progress.
Yeah.
It's
Such a
unique.
good point.
Well, I was thinking how I'm going about this is if I'm picking a ride that I could okay, sorry, this is hard
You
to
don't have to
explain.
cry.
Well, it's sad. No.
I'm so emotional.
Gosh, I'm I'm picking between the two rides, like for instance, Carousel of Progress and Seven Dwarfs. If I went to the park, I'm picking which one I could go to the park without riding on. I don't think I could go to the park and not ride Carousel of Progress. So that's my thought process.
Okay. Yeah, I expected to have to try and sway people on that one because that was the first one that I picked that I thought was going to be on upset alert. Just knowing that Seven Dwarfs is a roller coaster, it's
awesome. It's fun. It's
it
fine.
always has a
Yeah.
90-minute wait,
But-
whereas Carousel is a walk-on. So that's interesting. I expected to have to sell people because Carousel is my pick there too.
Well,
Duh.
we knew that, so we were
Right.
nice.
You were just
and-
being nice for this round?
mhm.
And if you think about this, as you're starting to put these together, some of these rides that we're saying now will be pitted
Gonna
up
go.
against one another in next rounds. So speaking of potential things that might be mashed up against Carousel, our 3-seed ride for the Magic Kingdom is the People Mover. I have that paired up against Splash Mountain as the 5-seed.
Oh,
This is easy for me. The People Mover.
yep. People mover.
I'm going People Mover.
You guys are going to win. I would go Splash Mountain.
Because
It's an exciting ride. It's history of the park. It's one of the mountains. It's got that 40-foot drop. That's that song that will get stuck in your head all day long. On a hot day, you get splashed with water. You get parked right next to the rocks that are dripping the water, and it just drips on you. And
I like that.
yeah, I love the.
The hand.
But-
I love Splash Mountain. It's one of my favorites.
But going back to some of Laura's arguments for Carousel of Progress, no other Disney park has a people mover.
That's true.
Disneyland did, and they took it away. But it's also a fantastic view. I mean, you get some of the most amazing castle views on People Mover.
Mhm.
Plus, you get to see Tomorrowland without actually having to walk Tomorrowland, which is a big bonus for me because I'm lazy.
Relatable.
And you get to see the inside of Space Mountain in a whole different way that a lot of people don't unless you get up and go on the People Mover.
Okay.
Plus, you get to avoid the smelly elevator for Astro Orbiter.
The dream.
Shoot.
Darn it.
Okay, I'm sold. We're there. So the last matchup in the Magic Kingdom bracket, the 4-seed Haunted Mansion versus the 6-seed Jungle Cruise.
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion.
Okay, I agree, but tell us why.
I have, in my opinion, the Haunted Mansion is the best ride in all of Disney World at telling a story.
Yes,
and
sister.
immersing you in it.
Whoa.
And it's spooky, which
is on brand for
is,
us.
yes, love anything spooky and paranormal. And it's like the most interactive ride at Disney World.
You're a
Like,
liar.
because you go through the stretching room and then you go in the casket.
and the ghosts in the mirror.
Yeah.
I thought my head.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We should upload the picture of us because
I
you do
love that
look
picture.
concerned.
Yeah.
She does look concerned.
We'll have to make sure we add that as we're promoting this episode. Okay, so we're going to jump over to the other kingdom, Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
The first one is all about Pandora.
Okay.
My number 1 seed is Flights of Passage for that park. My number 8 seed is the Navi River Journey.
Flights of Passage, and I haven't even been on it. But I'm sorry. You go to Pandora and you think Flights of Passage. You don't think waiting in line for 45 minutes for a 1-minute boat ride through a forest. You just don't.
Just because of a
1
cool
minute.
animatronic.
Right. It's a cool animatronic. The Shaman Priestess is beautiful, and it's amazing technology, and it is visually stunning.
Mhm.
That ride is visually stunning, but it's way too short. We've talked about how you can't make rope interesting in the queues. It was a total afterthought, in my opinion.
Literally
Yeah.
just about to say afterthought. Like
Mhm.
they needed another ride.
To pull some people away from Flights of Passage,
Yeah, but
and as a
it's-
placeholder until it opened.
Right. And I think because everything you see in the ride is pretty much the whole park with the glowing plants and all of that, I think that is just a way to sit and sit through it instead of walking through it. So yeah, Flights of Passage for me.
Oh yeah, Flights of Passage.
Yeah, that one's easy. That was an easy 1 versus 8 seed to create. Okay, so my 2 seed is the Kilimanjaro Safari. I have that paired up with my 7 seed for Animal Kingdom, which is Kali River Rapids.
Safari, no question.
I would pick Safari. I don't like the rapid rides. I've never been on it, but
I've not been on
those.
it, but Scott, you have, and from your description of it, I don't care to ever go on it.
No.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. It has potential. I like river raft rides. It has potential.
I usually do, but from what I've seen
just-
through on ride-through videos and things like that, I'm like,
It's
I
kind of
wasted
boring. It's
time in
short.
line
There's
for
no
this.
like you get wet for the sake of getting wet. There's not a good
no.
enough story holding it together, in my opinion.
Oh.
And yes, Lacey just leaned over and whispered, "That's what she said." Okay, so
Well played.
continuing on in Animal Kingdom, my 3 seed is Expedition Everest, and I have that paired against a show, Tough to Be a Bug.
Oh, Everest, no question. You've got to be kidding me. How dare you, sir?
It's a competition.
I understand that, but it's a very one-sided competition. Who's going to pick a bug that stings you through your chair and all kinds of other nastiness when you go see Disco Yeti and be terrorized?
Right.
I mean, if we're talking scary versus scary, I'll still take the Yeti over some stupid bug.
Bugs are way
They're-
more terrifying.
They are, and they're very necessary for our survival, and I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm still going to go tangle with the Yeti.
It doesn't mean that you need to feel them crawling on you.
No!
Right.
No.
Because that feeling would not go away all day.
I've never been on that ride, and I
Well,
can't.
It's like a show. I
Yeah,
think.
it's at the
Or-
end
Inside
of
the
the show.
tree.
Yeah, okay. I can't do bugs.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Okay.
Everest for me too.
Yeah,
Everest,
that's,
yeah.
I think this bracket, the first round feels pretty easy.
Oh,
It's when
yeah.
we get into the second round of this one that I think we're going to have some decisions to make. So my 4 seed is another show, Festival of the Lion King, versus another ride, Dinosaur, is the 6th seed. And so this one's going to be hard for us and probably makes the number 1 seed a pretty easy move through because none of us have done either of these things.
Right.
We've only seen them online.
I'm still going to go with Festival of the Lion King just because I love the music from Lion King. And what was it up against? I'm sorry.
Dinosaur.
Okay, Dinosaur. I've heard that when you go on that ride, number 1, it's terrifying. Number 2, it's herky jerky and it hurts. Like, it's hurtful. I don't do hurtful rides.
Yeah, those aren't fun.
No.
I would agree. Just because since we were talking about this in our last episode, how we but we love the live shows so much. I'm gonna vote with the live show because I want them to stay. I don't want them
Yeah.
going anywhere.
Agreed.
I'm going with the live show.
Okay, I'm right there with you. Okay, we've now made it through our first round of Animal Kingdom. We're moving on over to Epcot. This one, I think there's going to be some things that are going to make us kind of cringe a little bit. So, the number 1 seed is the icon of Epcot, Spaceship Earth. The 8th seed, a controversial ride, Journey into Imagination with Figment.
Why would you do that?
How dare you, sir?
Scott, we're gonna have a talk after this because why would you do that? You couldn't have pinned it up against Mission to Space?
Just wait.
No, change it now.
Nope. The bracket seeding is final.
Oh my. Well,
Spaceship Earth versus Journey into Imagination with Figment.
Spaceship Earth.
Okay. I want to apologize to Figment. I am so sorry. But I'm going with Spaceship Earth.
That's my girl.
Hard decision. Hard.
Well, yeah, Spaceship Earth, I guess. But can they put Figment in there somewhere?
They should.
That would be awesome.
Like, he can be the tour guide.
I couldn't listen to that voice for the whole 20 minutes.
Well,
How about they
Can you
put
choose
him
it?
on each cart?
How about you're flying him?
Oh.
That sounded wrong.
No.
Wow. Spaceship Earth. Sorry,
Yeah,
Figment.
I just ruined Lacey's day.
Way to go.
Okay, so my 2 seed in Epcot is Soarin'. I have that paired up against Grand Fiesta Tour as the 7th
Oh,
Okay,
seed. This park was hard to do seedings for.
dude, I think that our favorite rides are at Epcot. Like,
Yeah.
we have a lot of good ones at Magic
Yeah.
Kingdom, but I think that we are more in love with the rides at Epcot.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, this is hard.
on this one, I'm gonna go with Grand Fiesta Tour.
Yep.
It would be different if it was the old version of Soarin'.
Okay, that's a good point.
Love it. You've never been on the old.
You.
Wait.
You.
Well, I got mine.
They're lovely, by the way.
Impress. $5.
Oh.
Impress.
And we're not sponsored, but we're willing to be.
Yeah.
I would take all of the free nails by Impress.
We all three could. You
Or
could too.
four.
You could put them on your toes.
Wow.
Have talons.
Talents.
Large talons.
Okay, so you're saying she's not been on the ride.
No, but I love that Candace. But and I'm not saying but from that, but I would
But.
still pick Grand Fiesta Tour over the old Soarin' too because I just freaking love that ride.
You are in the pyramid.
Yeah,
That pyramid is a work of art.
Mexico is my favorite pavilion, by the way. So
Plus, you
I-
go across the little street and you see Francisco
our guy,
and have a delicious meal.
yes,
Yes.
I'd do a shot with him.
Yes.
So I would totally pick Soarin'.
Oh, it begins.
Well, no, because it's a vote. The votes win, so it's 3-1. So
Okay.
you guys win. But I would pick Soarin' just because, and maybe it's the nostalgia for the original Soarin' with the orange grove scent and the flying through and being inside but still feeling the wind in your hair
Mm-hmm.
and the diving down and feeling the ocean breeze and just the technology of that ride is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Grand Fiesta Tour, I wouldn't be mad if they rethemed it.
Really?
If they turned that into a Coco ride, I would not be mad.
I like Coco,
Yes.
but I need my.
I love Coco,
Mm-hmm.
which it took me a long time to get there. I wouldn't watch it for the longest time because I didn't want to cry.
It's a very sad.
Sad.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I would be okay if they redid it as a Coco ride because I can see that back wall, like where the volcano is, as that whole, like when they first arrive in the land of the dead, and it's just the rows and rows and rows of houses and all the lights and all that. I can totally see that on that wall. But they need to include the Caballero somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
There
fine.
needs to be a throwback to it somewhere.
Yeah.
Can it really be the winning ride if you wouldn't be mad if they rethemed it?
Yes. Because nowhere in that pyramid does anything go sideways. Because of lack of attention to detail and hurriedness on Imagineering's part. And yes, I said it.
Mic drop. Okay, so next ride. Next bracket challenge in Epcot. The 3 seed, Living with the Land versus Test Track.
Oh,
Oh,
living with the land.
Yep.
Living with the land.
I would agree with that. As much as and this would be a harder choice for me if
If
they
it was
hadn't
original
rethemed
Test Track?
If it was the original Crash Test Dummies Test Track,
Yeah.
that to me was an awesome ride.
Yeah.
Like now it's just your drive to when you're driving to the park. Like I've heard that on a couple of different videos that like that's not a cool ride
Like
because
if
you
you, get in your
drive faster
car,
than that going to the park.
Right.
Like in our drive to Florida, we were going 25 miles an hour faster than Test Track goes.
And you do it every day on the interstate. I mean, if you're, if you have that kind of a drive where you need to drive on the interstate, you're going faster than that ride anyway. So it's not really cool and interesting.
Right.
But when it was the truly set up like Crash Test,
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was amazing. But yeah, I would do Living with the Land for sure in current iteration. Last Epcot ride challenge, Mission Space is my 4 seed versus The Seas with Nemo and Friends.
Oh,
The seas.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've not been on Mission Space, so I don't have a lot of room to talk here. But the seas is adorable. And it doesn't make me want to barf or make me claustrophobic. So there's that.
Yep. I maybe if we didn't do the orange this last time, I might have a more difficult decision, but gonna go with C's because I didn't like the way I felt after doing the orange of Mission Space. I felt like I needed to throw up and cry.
Simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah, the C's.
And you don't like the C's.
I don't mind it. Okay, it's not my favorite. It's not
Because it's a genuine question.
Well,
I'm not going to challenge you
like
on
why
it. But
do I?
why do you not?
I think I hyped it
It's
up.
just kind of like the Little Mermaid ride for
And
me.
I hyped that one up too because I love those rides.
But I don't know. I didn't mind it. I would go on it again
Mm-hmm.
with like the Little Mermaid. Whatever. But compared to Mission Space,
What is yours?
I'm going to go with the C's.
Okay.
I love, like, I don't mind Mission Space. It's a take or leave for me ride. The C's is, if I'm over there, I'm going on it because, like, just seeing Nemo in the aquarium with the real
That's
fish,
really cool.
it's just cool tech.
Mhm.
Even though, like, last time we went on it, I could see how the tech worked. It wasn't as cool because I'm like, oh, I see what they're doing there, but it's still really neat that you see Nemo and friends with real fish in the aquarium.
Yeah.
I
And
think
that
it's
technology spurned a lot of what they're doing now. Like as
Yeah.
far as the magical portholes on the cruise ships,
Yeah.
they do that kind of thing on there. And I mean, they basically modeled Journey of the Little Mermaid after that ride, just with the clamshells and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of building, and it's like becoming part of history.
I
Plus,
like
you
that.
have the aquariums that you get to go through.
Right.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good
Yeah.
aquarium?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, we're going to jump over to Hollywood Studios. There's some difficult ones in here, too. Candace is crinkling her nose, but when she has to choose between some of these, I think she's going to be amazed how much she likes them. So the first one is, this one is going to surprise me because one of the rides we haven't been on, but it's a technological achievement in ride systems. Rise of the Resistance, by far, is the most popular ride in Hollywood Studios right now. So that's my number one seed. I have that paired against Alien Swirling Saucers over in Toy Story Land.
That's not even fair.
It's a 1 seed versus an 8 seed. It's not supposed to be fair.
Fine. Rise of the Resistance.
I don't know. It's hard because we haven't been on it
Mhm.
yet, but I mean, soaring. I like the saucers; they're fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
But it's not Rise.
Yeah. I'll go with Rise of the Resistance too.
I'm gonna go. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna go with the flying saucers.
Well, they're not
'Cause-
flying. So,
Well, you just
They're swirling.
yeah.
the swirling.
You can't even get it
saucers.
right, so I don't think she gets to vote.
Vote revoked.
Redacted.
Yes. Redact it. Redact it.
Yeah, I haven't been on Rise of the Resistance, so I'm
Yeah.
just going with the one that I've been on.
Yeah, I'm going with Rise. Just everything I've seen about it is amazing. So, yeah. So my 2 seed is also from Toy Story Land. Slinky Dog Dash. Second most popular ride. Well, probably Mickey and Minnie, but I didn't use Mickey and Minnie because we hadn't ridden it and it wasn't. Whatever. My 2 seed is Slinky Dog Dash. Going up against Muppet Vision 3D show. So again, you two haven't been on either of those.
Yeah.
Candace and I haven't been on Slinky Dog, but we've walked by it, we've seen it, the cuteness of it.
Okay, don't trip me down a flight of stairs
Fine.
for this. I'm not a huge Muppet.
Can't even say it.
Muppet.
Redact it.
It's not something I grew up on, but I do find it funny.
I'm so sorry for you.
I
Yeah.
am sorry for me too.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you too.
But I'm going with the ride that I want to go on more, and that is Slinky Dog Dash.
That's fair.
So that's my answer.
I gotta go with the Muppets.
Okay.
Pass.
No.
Passed.
I'll go next. So I'm gonna agree with Mariah. I'm choosing Slinky Dog because it's Muppet Vision is a little outdated. There's
is.
some updates that need to be made to that, and I really want to go on Slinky Dog. It's a ride I want to go on. I just haven't ever been there at a time when I wanted to wait in that line. But it's like walking by it. It's so adorable, and just the
Oh, it's
idea behind it.
amazingly adorable.
So I'm voting for Slinky Dog. So that's 2-1. Are we going to take this into a tiebreaker or?
Here's my problem.
Just say it.
Okay, I don't know what to pick because this is hard. Because again, with the shows, I want them to stay, so my heart goes out to the shows because they're fun. And Slinky, it looks like I want to ride that ride so bad, but I feel like it's gonna give me the same thing that Seven Dwarfs Mine Train gives me, a short little kiddie roller coaster, which is fine. It's just fine. But I'm an adult, and I don't need a short little kiddie coaster to. I can sit through a show and appreciate it a little bit more than a kiddie coaster. But for the sake of time, I'm going to go with Slinky Dog Bash.
Okay, there's your vote. Okay, so my 3 seed in Hollywood Studios is Rock and Roller Coaster, going up against Smuggler's Run in Galaxy's Edge.
Oh,
Rock and Roller
easy.
Coaster.
Rock and roller coaster.
And
I
I've
thought
not been
you
on
were-
it, but I've not been on either one of them. But hearing y'all talk about how bad Smuggler's Run was, and not that it was even
Yeah.
bad, it was just a bad experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't do the queue and we should have. I think
Yeah,
our experience would have been different.
I'm going to take Dramamine next time, and I want to ride with you guys.
Yeah. Okay. So last of the pairs in Hollywood Studios, my 4 seed is Hollywood Tower of Terror, and I have that pitted up against Toy Story Mania.
Knew it. I knew you were going to do that. Toy Story Mania.
I'm with you. Toy Story Mania for
Yeah.
me. For
Tower
sure.
of Terror.
We're gonna have to duel, fight to the death.
Okay.
All right,
because
get out our
Tower of
swords.
Terror.
Get out our swords, Scott.
Okay, so how do we want to do tiebreakers? We knew this was going to happen eventually. Do we want to try and do some convincing and change somebody's mind? Or do we want to play rock, paper, scissors?
Ooh. Or a coin toss.
Or a coin toss?
Let's shell out our one argument first.
Okay.
Let's debate.
Okay, so what's your argument?
Tower of Terror is the park weenie.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to
What's a
see
park
that?
weenie?
We already explained it.
Okay.
Would you want to see that taken away and turned into Guardians of the Galaxy?
You're hurting my heart.
It's already, they can't.
They
They are-
did in California.
But they're not going to stop it they're not going to.
Okay, take away that second part then.
Do you mean like the icon of
Yeah.
the park?
Yes, that is the icon.
That's what they use on the advertisement for that park.
It used to be Sorcerer Mickey's hat.
Well, it's not anymore. And it's scary.
I would prefer Buzz Lightyear to be the new icon of Hollywood Studios. So
Okay. I guess we
I'm just
agree on
kidding.
that.
I'm just kidding. That was a joke. And
Yeah, it was.
Even though that would be cool to have some sort of. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, it's the icon of the park. I get it, but I have more fun on Toy Story Mania.
You didn't win, so I don't know why.
Toy Story Mania is the most fun ride on property. In my
It's
opinion.
a game. It's a video game.
That you get to be whipped around. You sit there and you pull on the little plunger thing to shoot the rings and all the darts and that kind of thing. With all the characters from the Toy Story movies, and then you get whipped around. You giggle just as much on that as you do on Tower of Terror.
Yes, but you don't get to punch me in the head on Midway Mania.
You never asked.
Do it next time and tell her.
Ooh, my hand slipped off the plunger.
That sounds terrible.
Okay, so has anybody's mind been changed from their original vote?
No.
We have to. Someone has to give, and it's not going to be us. So
Well, it's not going to be us
I'm
either.
not
No, I'm just
giving
kidding.
up Tower of Terror.
Okay. I guess I'll go with Tower of Terror because there's already the Space Rangers spin and shoot, whatever it's called, Buzz Lightyear in Magic Kingdom, which I'm surprised you did not include. But
It may be coming up.
It's
yeah.
not.
Oh.
So I guess since there's a ride similar to it, and there's not a ride similar to Tower of Terror, for that reason alone, I will allow Tower of Terror to move on.
And if we don't protect the park weenie, it could be a giant stormtrooper. And I would just die.
Okay, that's way worse than Buzz Lightyear.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
Like burn the park to the
So we've
ground,
made it
seriously.
through the first. We've made it through the first elimination. So we're going back to Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
Round 2. Number 1 seed Pirates of the Caribbean versus the number 4 seed Haunted Mansion.
Ooh, this is not good.
The pain.
So let's do this because we are already at 30 minutes. We're going to make this round rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay.
Pick one. Pirates, Haunted.
Haunted.
This hurts. Haunted.
Pirates.
Haunted. So Haunted wins that one. Okay. Round 2 of Magic Kingdom. The 3 seed People Mover versus the 7 seed Carousel of Progress. People Mover, Carousel.
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 People Mover.
Carousel.
I'm
Jeez,
standing my
You're
ground.
out for blood.
I don't care.
Okay, moving back over to Animal Kingdom now. The number 1 seed Flights of Passage versus the number 4 seed Festival of the Lion King.
Flights of Passage.
Flights of Passage.
Passage.
Okay. The number 2 seed Kilimanjaro Safaris versus the number 3 seed Expedition Everest.
Oh.
Safaris, Everest. Candace.
Safaris.
Everest.
Everest.
Safaris.
Oh, shoot.
There's no other roller coaster.
There's no other roller coaster.
There's no other safari either, and it's called Animal Kingdom, not Roller Coaster Kingdom.
Wait.
It is.
The Yeti Kingdom.
When you go on Everest, it's the same ride every time. When you go on the safari, it's a different ride every time you go on it.
Okay, I'll change to Safari because
I'm not changing.
of the eggs.
Of the antelope.
Yeah,
eggs.
wherever else do you get to see antelope eggs?
Yeah.
I mean,
Or be surrounded by crocodiles.
Oh, wait. You are going to make me change my mind back.
but think
Too
about
late.
the flamboyance of flamingos.
Too late.
Really?
We're moving on. Okay,
Redacted.
moving back over to Epcot. The number 1 seed, Spaceship Earth, versus the number 6 seed, The Seas with Nemo's and Friends.
Spaceship Earth.
Spaceship.
Spaceship.
Okay.
Easy.
The number 3 seed, Living with the Land, versus the number 7 seed, Grand Fiesta Tour.
Living with the land.
Land.
Grand Fiesta.
I'm going with Land. That surprises me.
I
Now, you have
know.
to talk about that. Why?
Well, I didn't go on Grand Fiesta our first trip. I went on Living with the Land. And I feel like this last time, my favorite rides have changed. I loved Grand Fiesta so much. That one, I don't know why, I love it. I love Living with the Land. It's hard because they're both boat rides, which are
Right.
so much fun. But
But one has the edutainment.
yes, I do love that. But it's like, I love Mexican culture so much. I don't think you guys understand. Okay, you know how you were an Egyptian?
Yes.
I was a sheep farmer in Mexico.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
Living with the Land still wins.
Yes, which I'm fine with. I love Living with the Land.
Hollywood Studios. Number 1 seed, Rise of the Resistance, versus the number 4 seed, Tower of Terror.
Tower.
Tower.
Tower of Terror.
Tower. I agree. Just because I haven't been on Rise. I think
Yeah.
once I go on that ride, it will eclipse all else from everything that I've seen.
Yeah.
That ride will be my number 1. I just have this strange feeling. But for now, Tower.
Really?
Yeah.
Even before Mickey and Minnie, you think?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think so. Okay, so Hollywood Studios, the last pair. The 2 seed Slinky Dog Dash versus the 3 seed Rock and Roller Coaster.
Rock and Roller Coaster.
Rock and roller coaster.
Same.
Okay, for inclusion in the final 4 for Magic Kingdom, Haunted Mansion versus Carousel of Progress.
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion.
Carousel of Progress.
We already know what you're going to say.
I'm going to say Carousel of Progress just because it's Walt's original. And again, it's only in one park in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's some, like, I think about Magic Kingdom, it would be a disappointing day if I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll change my
It's
vote.
a Walt thing
Yeah.
for me.
Okay. Wow, a 7 seed making it into the final 4.
Crazy.
Animal Kingdom, Flights of Passage versus the Safari.
Safari.
I guess I'll go with Safari because I know that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Probably. But let's have the debate. Why? You guys have been, convince us. You guys have been on Flights of Passage. We haven't.
I just imagine Soarin' times 1,000.
Well, yes, I love Flights of Passage. I do. But the Safari, like Candace said, I mean, you're going with actual real animal experience versus like a simulation ride. I kind of feel bad if I pick a simulation ride over like an actual like
That's true. I guess Flights of Passage is just more of an experience thing.
or a thrilling thing.
Thrilling. Well, I had a good experience
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, I
But
know.
as far as just it being a ride without my personal experience, probably the Safari is probably a more special ride.
Again, you can't do. I know Flights of Passage is only in one part too, but again, it's Soarin' heavy. Like,
Yeah.
You're just sitting. You don't, I mean, it's all fed to you. You don't have to
again,
look. You
the Safari
can't
is a
see
different
antelope
ride every
eggs.
time you go on it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
don't get stopped by hippos or
Rhinoceroses.
rhinoceroses in the middle of the road or baby giraffes and
You
that kind
can't
of
see a
thing.
giraffe running from place to place.
You can.
So are we agreeing Safari is moving?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, back to Epcot for inclusion in the final 4. Spaceship Earth versus Living with the Land.
Spaceship Earth.
Spaceship Earth.
Spaceship Earth.
That doesn't surprise me based on our previous conversation. Okay, Hollywood Studios. Tower of Terror versus Rock and Roller Coaster.
Tower of Terror.
Tower.
Roller coaster.
I'm going to go with Tower. I just like it better.
I don't know why I don't like it as much as you guys. I hate myself for it.
I think you had a bad experience waiting in the line when it kept breaking down and you were in the basement of the hotel and it's creepy and kind of dank and icky.
Yeah.
And
I don't like the dark.
I get it.
Well, I like not at Disney World. Well, okay, that's another discussion.
It's just
Rock and-
weird because you've got a lot of people around you that you don't know and it's just weird and that room's weird anyway.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rock and Roller Coaster to me just feels like a roller coaster you could go on anywhere. It's a fast roller coaster with upside downs in the dark
And good music.
and good music.
Really good music.
But Tower of Terror, that it tells a story. I
Yeah.
think the Tower of Terror story is better.
Tower of Torrance.
That's okay.
The
So-
turtle.
Magic Kingdom versus Animal Kingdom for inclusion in the championship round. Carousel of Progress versus the Safari.
Carousel.
Carousel.
Wow.
What was yours? Carousel?
I again, the Safari's a different ride every time you go on it.
Whoa.
I probably would choose the Safari.
Oh, poop.
And the world has stopped turning.
The carousel has pawns.
What?
The carousel is paused.
Yeah, I don't know why, but if
Wow.
I would vote for the Safari.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Even though Carousel of Progress is my favorite ride.
To be honest
My
with you,
favorite
they're
attraction.
so different.
Yeah.
It's not really a fair pairing
It's hard.
because they're so different.
Yeah.
And they're so good for such different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So for inclusion in the championship round between Epcot and Hollywood Studios, Spaceship Earth versus Tower of Terror.
Spaceship Earth.
Spaceship Earth.
Just because of the iconicness of it.
I love that ride.
I could go on that 15 times a day and not bat an eye and not care.
Yeah.
If I go on Tower of Terror 15 times a day, it's going to be all over. Literally.
Heard.
Okay.
Lunch.
Or whatever.
Yep.
So here's the championship. We're going to go around the table and you have to defend your reason before we move on to the next person.
Okay.
Carousel of Progress from the Kingdom bracket versus Spaceship Earth in the non-Kingdom bracket. For best overall ride from this bracket. Carousel of Progress versus Spaceship Earth. And why? Who wants to go first?
You know what's kind of weird? They're
Tell
both
us.
they're both very similar rides,
They are.
just in different forms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Spaceship Earth because it's more sciencey,
Okay.
and I really like science. Okay, that wasn't a good argument, but
So 1 vote for Spaceship Earth for science.
For science.
Science. It's a really good point. Plus the history aspect of it and all of that
Yeah,
is fabulous.
past, present,
However,
future.
I have to go with the carousel.
Okay. And why?
Walt.
Just the connection to Walt?
Mhm.
And that he had his hands in that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want me to go, or do you want to go?
You can go.
Okay. I am also going to vote for the carousel, as surprise to no one.
I'm shocked.
Well, I'm shocked
I
because
I wouldn't have put it in the championship game. It's
well, no, because you voted for Safari last. So this
but between
without
these
us,
2 rides,
yeah, I know, but without us, it would have been
the Safari
yeah.
in this round.
So I'm very okay. All right.
Yeah, but I'm going to go with the carousel because I am a huge fan of how quickly technology has changed in our world. And in one 20-minute ride, you go from the 1920s,
Mhm.
1900s
Mhm.
into somewhat modern times, and you get to see how the world has changed decade by decade. Not very often do you get to see from decade to decade how quickly things change, and that ride points it out. And and the song is catchy. And again, if I went to Disney World and didn't get on Spaceship Earth, it wouldn't be the end of my world. I would be sad I didn't go on Carousel of Progress. So that's 2 versus 1.
Wow.
Here comes 2.
Yeah. I pick. I don't want to make this episode longer,
It's fine.
but I pick Spaceship Earth because you don't get to smell things burning in Carousel of Progress.
Don't
that's
get
a
any
good thing.
privacy at all around here.
No, I love Spaceship Earth so much. Like Candace said, I could ride that ride over and over and over again. However, I could not ride Carousel of Progress over and over again. That is like a once. I know. It's just like, it's kind of like with It's a Small World where you ride it once. Okay, I know that's really, but that song gets stuck in your head.
Yes.
I think if I did it over and over again with Carousel of Progress, that song would be stuck in my head. However, I guess it doesn't make it better that I want to ride a ride like 15 times in a row versus like once. It doesn't make it better than the other, but I think for the sake of history of the park and Walt and everything, I think it would be disrespectful to choose like Spaceship Earth over Carousel of Progress.
Even though the freaky scientist lady gives you unease in
Well,
Spaceship Earth.
it keeps me on my toes. It keeps me on my
Ew.
toes. I eye her every time just to make sure she's
Where she's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Robotic.
and she's not going anywhere towards my cart. Got to keep my eye on her. Make sure her eyes are not wandering over to mine.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll go with Carousel of Progress because Scott, I would feel sad if you were not able to ride that ride.
Aw.
I know. I'm a nice person, but I love Spaceship Earth. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, sister.
Yeah, I know. It's your
Oh yeah,
heart.
none of these rides, well, maybe 1 or 2, do we absolutely despise. It's very hard.
Yeah,
to
this ended up being a harder bracket than I thought it would.
Yeah.
And I put some of the things in the early ones on purpose to make us have to think about them and move things through.
Mhm.
So this is not the idea of picking out the best ride in the park. It was based on these 32 rides and attractions today. Which ones do we think are best? That's the beautiful thing about a bracket and a challenge like this is today we came up with Carousel of Progress. You guys were listening through all these matchups. Who would you have had?
Yeah.
So who won?
Carousel of Progress.
That was overall champion?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Carousel of
I thought
Progress.
we had another round. I'm sorry, I can't keep it all straight.
Nope.
Sports.
Yay, sports ball. So yeah, Carousel of Progress won the day today. Listeners, who would you have chosen out of this round? We'll at some point put up a copy of this bracket, the blank bracket, on our Instagram and our Facebook, so you can maybe even go through and fill it out and tell us who you would have do it. But this is a great opportunity to interact with us and let us know what you think. Would Carousel of Progress come out as the tops on your list too? I think that's where we're going to wrap this one up today, and my traditional sign-off is going to feel even sweeter today. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
We'll see you real soon.